Hope you guys having a great week so far. I know it's Monday, but still, I want to talk about a lot of things today. So, like I said, is that welcome back to another episode of Future Money. A lot of great things have been going over the weekend. Hope you guys had a great Mother's Day. I know I did. I went to Puerto Rico for the weekend, came back, got back last night. So, I want to start out with to brag a little bit. It's because last week and the week before that, I told you guys that Ethereum was in a short squeeze. Nobody believed me. People said it was over. It was done. Solana beat it. That's one of the reasons why you have to come to these episodes every week. Because watch, we have record numbers again. Watch, we're already at 600. We'll be over 1,000 again. And the thing about that is that this is what makes me so sad about all of this, is that the money's out there, but people don't want to pay attention. They're impatient. They don't want to wait. They want to be, my head's cut off on the video. So I don't know what's going on there. But that's what happens, right? Is that the money's out there. If you're willing to wait, if you're willing to be patient, you're willing to dollar cost average in, it's easy to make money. Emotions is what kills most people. And that's what happened over the last 2 or 3 months, is that they saw their investments going down. They couldn't take it. They quit. Blame me. And then what's the weird thing about it is on my social media platforms, I've seen a lot of people refollow me. Now, and in my mind, I'm thinking, why would you unfollow me in the first place? Because I could tell you what happened with somebody's mindset is that they invested, they got excited back in November or whatever. They start following me, got excited, invested. As soon as it dropped, they got mad, had to find somebody to blame. So they blamed me, unfollowed me, and got rid of everything. Now, when they saw it go back up, I guess he was right. They come back on. That's a sign of the emotions that people go through that cause them to forever be in poverty or not ever getting to where they want to in their financial life. It's the emotions. Like I told you one time, it's easy to make money. Money is not hard to get. Money is not hard to make. But most people are controlled or held back by their emotions. They cannot, they just are overwhelmed by emotions. We talked about financial implosion. We talked about the biases that you have. We talked about panic and greed, and all of these emotions overwhelm people. It's easy to look at a market and say, well, I'm going to buy it when it's down. It's going to go back up. It's a 100% chance. Every crash in history has went back up, so why wouldn't it go back up now? But your emotions conflict with that, and it causes you not to make the decisions you know you should have. But we're going to talk about the reason why a lot of these things are going back up. One is that the U.S. trade tariff has been, U.S. and China has slashed the tariffs for 90 days, easing the trade war fears. The NASDAQ is leading tech stocks like we talked about over a while. Is up big. Nvidia's up 5%. Amazon's up almost 10%. Apple's up 7%. Tesla's up 10%. Tesla's going to 1,000, 2,000 here pretty soon. And this is what people didn't realize, is that it's that temporary thing, right? It's the anchor bias. Is Tesla was artificially put down because of mass emotions. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because Elon Musk was helping Trump. So you got to remember, half the country, which are Democrats, I'm not going against either side, but I'm just telling you how it works, is that half the country is angry. Yeah, he's working with Trump. I'm going to sell the stock. Yeah. And in fact, we're going to vandalize all Tesla cars. Yeah. Right? And what happens is that it did cause Tesla to go down, but to be honest, value can't be held down like that. It doesn't matter who's running the company, whatever. People always think that some kind of way you can stop a company's growth. Value will always find its level, almost like water. It's going to go right back to where it was. It's a temporary. You can hold it down temporarily, but you can't hold it down long term, because if there's a product, service, or company out there that's increasing efficiency, increasing value, making things better, making things faster, making things more efficient or cheaper, you can't stop that company by being angry at it. So Tesla's going to go back to 1,000 too over time. So this is what we've been talking about. Pharma stocks are falling because Trump did promise he was going to cut drug prices 80%. Oil is up 3%. There's upcoming CPI data. And it's going to show the impact of inflation. So the Bitcoin could be ready to explode right now. We saw Ethereum come back. We saw XRP is up right now 10%, I believe. Where is it at? It's up almost 11%. Now, this is what gets me angry with XRP before we get into the Bitcoin part, is that I get so angry because Bitcoin will go up. And I don't know if it's, I'm going to just say it. I don't know if people are stupid or if they just are so panicky. I don't know. But people will look at Bitcoin, right? It'll be at, let's say at 90,000. It goes up 5,000. Let's say it's at 100,000. It goes up 5,000. Now it's at 105. And people will say, why is XRP not going up as much as Bitcoin? You look at XRP and it's up 6%. You're like, well, percentage-wise, XRP is up higher than Bitcoin. But what they saw was they saw that $5,000 increase in Bitcoin. And then they look at XRP and say, where is the $5,000 increase in XRP? It doesn't work that way. It's percentages. If XRP goes up, right now it's at 640. A few days ago, it was at like 620. You see, that's only 40 cents. But percentage-wise, it's up almost 25% overall. You can't look at dollar amounts. We look at percentages. We don't care about the dollar amounts. Percentages is where your gains come from. The dollar amounts don't really matter. And you have to understand that. I need you guys to like the video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Liking the video helps me with engagement and also helps me get my message out to the more people. So that's how you can thank me, is like the video. We got only like 80 likes, but we got 700, 600, 900 people in here today. I need you guys to like the video, if you would, please. Also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Also, you can drop a super chat if you want to ask any questions. So, CNC has helped me not panic, hold steady, and buy the dips. Now, another thing I want to talk about is that we do have an event in LA. It's halfway sold out. If you put the screen up, please. LA is May 22nd. It's called DeLorean Dreams. We're going to talk about all the newest investments that are coming up over the next 1 year, 5 year, 10 years. A lot of people that have come to those events have got the insights to make a lot of money over the next few years after the event. And people, if you've been in one of my events and you made money, drop some money bags. This is where it starts. This is where the ideas start. This is where we learn. This is where we grow. Right now, it's in May 22nd. We're about 40% sold out. Next week, it'll be sold out. So if I were you and I were close to LA, or you could fly in on that day, I would come and I would appreciate it, and I would love to see you guys there. So, now let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin, right? So last week, we said that Bitcoin, if it broke through 100, it would be off to the races. As you can see, Bitcoin is already back to its all-time highs. Once it breaks its all-time high again, it's likely that it will head straight to 120, 130, like we talked about. Now, we remember is that Bitcoin is the driver of the market. That's the way it's always been. It's probably going to change in the future. But right now, Bitcoin's the driver, so we have to watch Bitcoin. Whatever Bitcoin does, all altcoins will follow. So that's very important what Bitcoin is doing, at least over the next year. So we got 922 people watch. We get over 1,000 today. But that's the way it is, which is okay. But it just makes me sad because people come in at the wrong times. So like I said, Bitcoin is close to breaking out like it did in October of 2024. I've done the research. I looked at October of 24. When that breakout happened, Bitcoin surged from 72 to 106, a 47% increase in 60 days. And the chart looks almost exactly like it did back in October of 24, when it was a 47% gain in those 2 months afterwards. So I could strongly see Bitcoin going up 47%, XRP going to $4 or $5, Ethereum going way past all-time highs over the next few months, or by the end of the summer, like we talked about. So somebody says, we got a super chat. What can we expect with ARM? Still a good play. I still think it is. It's a long-term play. Now, you have to remember is that Nvidia is taking a lot of attention now, but ARM will eventually start to do well. We know the inflation reports are coming out this week, and this could trigger big moves. I believe that we're going to be shocked that inflation has been curtailed a lot over the last year. Now, less than 2% of Bitcoin's in the red. It happens near major tops. Bitcoin barely missed a breakout level, 104.5, which we're, where are we at now? Yeah, we're at 103. It's got to break 104.5 before we see that breakout. Still looks strong. So 600, I want to talk about this a little bit, is that $867 million went into the ETFs last week. That's more money than we've seen in months. Big money is still buying. Michael Saylor is still buying. we're going to see, a lot of people are going to be shocked about what happens to cryptocurrency this summer. Now, I've said this for years, for the last 3 years. This is your last chance. And I know it's hard to hear that. Maybe you're not positioned, but this is probably your last chance to ever make this kind of money ever in your life, or maybe in the next 20 years. And I know it's hard to hear that, but I've been saying it since 2022, is that you got, now I said 23. I said into 23, I said you got 24 and 25. Those years are going to be life-changing years if you position yourself right. Now, if you sit around and you bachata all day, you dance, don't care, come in at the last moment hoping you can make some money, you're too late. You're not positioned well. You didn't have the money. You didn't have the knowledge. Of course, you're going to mess it up. It's not easy money. Now, I'm sorry, it's not given money. It's easy money, but it's not given. You have to do something to get it. You have to control your emotions and show up to certain events, show up to certain things, and just pay attention. And you could change your life forever. But a lot of people don't want to do that. They'd rather binge watch Netflix. They'd rather go do that. You see, it's so crazy how people choose these things over financial freedom. And then they get mad at the government or the system or capitalism because they didn't make it. When the good thing about the United States is that everybody gets a shot. And you could say racism is bad here. You could say sexism is bad here. You can say people hate you because your gender or whatever. And I agree with you, some of that does exist. But in the stock market and the crypto and in technology, nobody knows what you look like. Nobody knows what your gender is. Nobody knows what your sexuality is. Nobody knows what your race is. All you have to do is do the right moves. You don't even have to talk to nobody if you didn't want to. Now, that only exists in a few countries on earth. And that's why I love that this opportunity that we're given in this country. And now, if you mess it up, it's your fault. It's nobody else's fault. Now, we got a super chat. You rock. Thank you for all you do. XRP and XLM to the moon. Can a Tilly run happen in 1 to 2 years? I don't know what that means. What's a Tilly? What's a Tillity? I don't know. You have to rewrite that question. Can you comment on Sui and Walrus? Both of those are good. I don't have any analysis on those today, but I'll put them on my list for next week. I need you guys to like the video, and if you're new to the channel, I would really like it if you would subscribe. So what I really want to talk about is how much Ethereum has went up. Last week and the week before that, I told you that Ethereum was likely in a short squeeze. We know that there was huge amounts of shorts taken out right before that Bybit hack. We know that Bybit severely depressed Ethereum, and we knew that Ethereum was still technically and fundamentally sound. The only thing that was missing is that the sentiment was low because people felt like one day Solana would replace it. Pat Sapien, appreciate the super chat, Pat. They felt like Solana will replace, or it's slow, or it's old, which is the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Is that people, that's what I'm writing in my new book too. You have to understand technology, and I say it again, I say this all the time, it's not like your new iPhone. Every 6 months, something new comes out to replace the previous. Technology takes years to integrate and adopt. 10, 20 years at sometimes. Telephones took 75 years before 60, 70% of households had phones from the inception to it was adopted almost by most people. It took 75 years. Electricity took 50 years. The internet took 20-something years before most households had internet. Just because you don't hear about it does not mean that work's not being done. Now, when you start hearing about the internet, yeah, it's because everybody has it. That's the reason why it seems so fast. Technology takes years to integrate. That means that the concept of old technology is stupid because it doesn't work like a new iPhone. Even your new iPhone is not a new iPhone. It's a new case and old technology repackaged in a different way. And you believe it's new. So Ethereum, the narrative that Solana would replace Ethereum was stupid at its base. It wasn't going to happen. Now, there's a place in the market for both of these technologies and blockchains, but one's not going to replace the other, and one's not going to move the other one out of the way. They both can exist. And Ethereum exists, already has the developers, already has the history, already has the the background. So it doesn't matter what Solana does. Now, Ethereum, they did a major upgrade, which increased the efficiency. It started burning more tokens, which increases the value of Ethereum. Now we got some big analysts coming out saying it could go to 12, 13, 14,000. What I've been saying for the last year. Now you're going to start to hear these analysts say this, these predictions. I've been saying it for a year. People didn't believe me. So how do we see SoundHound in the next 3 months? I don't know where SoundHound's at now. I have to look at it later on in the episode. But this is what happens, is that your emotions will make you believe that whatever's happening now is going to continue to happen into the future. So as Ethereum's falling, your mind will trick you and tell you, this is it, it's over, you need to get out. And while it's going up, your mind will tell you it's going to keep going up, don't ever sell. You have to understand that your mind is tricking you. Now we got these analysts coming out saying it's going to 5,000, 6,000, 13,000, 15,000 for the end of the year. I've been saying it for a year, even when it was down, even when people gave up on it, even when people thought it was over. I knew the fundamentals and the technology was strong. So it doesn't matter what people feel about it, because that's what I love about technology. That's why I stick to tech stocks, crypto, and things of that nature, is because I know how technology works. The better technology in most cases that's marketed the best. And better does not mean faster or more efficient. There's a lot that goes into that. Like Microsoft is not the best operating system efficiency-wise, or price-wise, but it's the best because more people understand it. So that's how they won, is that they got everybody to be familiar with it. So now it is the best technology because more people can understand it than Ubuntu or any other operating system based on Linux. So that's the reason why they won. It's not because it's faster, more efficient. It's because they had the right marketing team. They got it into more people's hands early enough to where people are familiar with it, so it's going to win. Like Ethereum. Ethereum is going to be the #1 blockchain for smart contracts, all this, because it was the first to market. More people got it in their hands first. Developers learned of Ethereum's blockchain and how that works, so they're not going to want to move to something else. But that's how it's not. It may not be faster, may not be cheaper, but it was the first to market. That makes it better. So we got 1,100, you got 1,000 people in here tonight. This morning. So if you're new, please subscribe to the channel. If you're old, I appreciate you coming back. Please like the video. So we got another one. Hey Armando, my assisted living, I did send you a week last week. I don't know what that means, Geyer. Sound, is it a good time to invest? We'll look at sound at the end. Geyer, you have to read. I don't know what that means, man. I appreciate the super chat, though. So right now, Ethereum is at almost 2,600. That's almost a 50% gain in 7 days. The futures have surged 40%. Ethereum now trades above the average cost of most holders. No buying pressure coming from Binance. Short-term dip could be possible. Remember, May 7th, the upgrade in May 7th caused a token burn, which actually increases the value of Ethereum because it makes it more deflationary. May 7th, Ethereum launched the Pectra upgrade, which improves speed, lowered costs, and set the stage for more features. Now, that's the thing I like about Ethereum, is they're rolling out these new features over the next year. The upgrade triggered a huge increase in the Ethereum token burn, which means that Ethereum is being permanently destroyed with each transaction. Burning Ethereum reduces the total supply over time, making each remaining token more scarce and potentially more valuable. Now, this didn't exist in this fashion before. The more the network is used, DeFi, NFTs, payments, the more Ethereum gets burned. After Pectra, network activity spiked. Burn rates shot up. Scarcity plus demand, we know this, equals price strength, which is why many analysts say this burn surge is a huge bullish signal. Now I want to talk about XRP for a second. Remember, we do have the event in LA. If you put it back up there, May 22nd. I got to put the link in here. I'll put the link in here to go to the event. Yeah, I'll put the link in it. I'll put the link in the chat here. There you go. So I want to talk a little bit about XRP because right now XRP is up almost 11%. I don't even know if, let me refresh the screen because I think that's, and like as this during this crypto run over the last few days, the weirdest thing is that people have come to me, and I just talked about this, is that they come to me and say, why is XRP not moving up? I don't get it. Like they're almost in a panic state. Now, you have to understand is that XRP is at $2, $2.50. Now, if it moves a few cents, the percentage gains are a lot bigger than Bitcoin moving up $2,000. I think people get confused by that. I don't understand why. I mean, we learned that in elementary school. I don't get it. It's like we learned in elementary school about percentages in middle school. So I don't understand. And the thing about it is, man, I'm going to go off on a tangent here. I don't understand what y'all was learning in high school and middle school and stuff. I was a bad student. Like I did not pay attention. I graduated high school with a 1.8, barely got out. But then I get out and I know more than everybody else. Well, how was y'all getting the A's and B's? I don't get like how was it like? I don't get it, man. Like how was all these people getting A's and B's and they get out and don't know nothing? It's very confusing to me. Like, I'm like, you don't know about this? No, I don't never learn that. Like I learned that in high school. I may have not done the homework, but I learned it. Like I don't get how people didn't learn these things, percentages or whatever. Like obviously, it's not going to go up $1,000 like Bitcoin goes up $1,000. It's not at that level yet, and it's a lot more of a supply than it is big. This is elementary stuff, which I don't understand it. I don't get it, but maybe I don't know why this computer's not working. It's not. I don't know why this computer has slow internet up here. It's just this one. There it is. Now it's like dead. So South Koreans are driving XRP as well. Now, why is XRP up? Once, because the overall crypto market is moving up. Secondly, because there's a big demand for XRP right now in Korea. So in Korea and Asia, Japan, we know Japan is integrating XRP in their banks. Because of their differences in their financial system over there, they're more apt to integrate XRP into their system. Korean retail traders are flocking to XRP. More volumes. That's the #1 crypto over there. Passes Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, everything. We know that right now we're in the middle of a $1 billion short squeeze last week, and it's ending right now to help spark a broad rally in altcoins. The shift comes as U.S. China trade tensions ease. Rate cuts are expected. People think that the next time the Fed meets, there will be a rate cut. I agree with that. XRP and Doge are up 15%. While Ethereum jumped, like we said, nearly 40%. This mirrors past mania phases in Korea, known for chasing high volatility assets. Now, we're right at the cusp, I believe, of the altcoin season, of the Bitcoin summer, of what we've been talking about for the last 2 years. We're right at the cusp of it. Now, we've been through a lot. It should have happened months ago, but Trump messed it up with his tariffs, but maybe the tariffs worked. If this is what's coming out of this, maybe he was right. And I'm willing to say that. I don't, maybe he was right. I don't know. We'll see what happens in 6 months, a year. We'll see how it ends up playing out. He could have been right. Maybe we were all wrong and he was right. We'll see. But improved global sentiment and risk appetite are fueling this current altcoin, especially XRP-led rally. Now we got a lot of these people coming out again saying XRP could be here. All these predictions starting to come out. A lot of people saying Bitcoin, XRP could be at $10, $12, $15 by the end of the year. Now, I put up a lot of things and saying XRP could go to $10,000. Now, I want to clear this up because a lot of people don't understand this, is that I say that, but it is as a question. But I'm going to be honest with you. There's no way in the next 5 to 10 years XRP is going to $10,000. Now, with time, yes, but not because, remember, things need time to grow. Remember, things don't go straight up. It never does. So in an environment where it went straight up, yeah, we could be at 10,000 in 7 years. But the problem is that whenever an asset spikes up, there's people that come along and they short it or they sell. That cause it to go down. Then it goes up, go down. It's going to be stepped up. So because of that stepping process, the impulses and corrections that go all the way up, it takes a lot longer for an asset to gain momentum, gain the steam to get to where its true value is. So it could take 10, 15, maybe 20 years to get there, maybe longer. But that doesn't mean it's not going to get, like Nvidia, for example, took 15 years to get to where it's at today. It started at like 30 cents. And now it's at what? I don't know, $150, $160. Pre-split value, $1,600. But started at like 30, 20, 30 cents. You have to remember, it takes a long time for it to build to momentum. We're going to go through hard times. We're going to go through recessions. We're going to go through negative growth periods. All that is going to hold it back over the next 10, 15, 20 years. So it will take a lot longer to go to that $10,000 mark, 20 years. But that doesn't mean we're not going to get to 100. We're not going to get to 50. We're not going to get to 75 here really quickly, because I believe that's going to happen. Now, not this year. I'm not going to say that either. This year, we're looking at 8 to 12. That's a good, solid target for this year. Now, next year, maybe the year after that, we get to 25. Time goes by a lot faster than you think. If you're sitting there right now, I don't want to wait, whatever, what's going to happen is that you will get impatient. You'll jump on something else. The time will pass anyway. And at the end of it, you still won't have the money. I've seen so many people ruin their entrepreneurial lives and their investment lives by being impatient. Because what they do is they bounce around for years. They go here, go here, go here, go here. They bounce around. And at the end of the term, the 5 years, it's wasted. And the person who just stood for those 5 years and waited ends up well off at the end of the 5 years, or on the path to well off. The other person is bounced around for 5 years, still in the same place. I've seen it happen hundreds of times, especially if you're young. It sounds like 5 years is a long time. You're in your 20s. 5 years is a long time. That's a quarter of your life if you're 20 years old. 25, it's 20% of your life. But it goes a lot faster than you think. I'll tell you that. A lot faster than you think. So a lot of analysts right now are saying that XRP could surge 4 times to $10 this year. They said that the key trigger would be Bitcoin dominance expected to drop, which will, like we talked about before, often signals altcoin season. XRP is already up early in this bull run, unlike past cycles where it lagged. And that's because of the new administration. It's because of the lawsuit being resolved. It's because of Brad Garlinghouse excellent lobbying activities. SEC lawsuit is very, very close to being resolved. XRP now has regulatory clarity, at least. It's no longer labeled a security. Ripple is expanding globally. We know about the Japan integration. We know about the cross-border payments, real-world asset tokenization. Ripple is expected to be involved in the digital Europe and acquiring firms like Hit and Road. They're trying to acquire Circle right now. XRP ETF approvals could drive major demand and push the price even higher. Now, I want to talk about something else that before we get on to a couple of stocks I want to talk about. So I want to talk about something about game theory. Is that we've talked about this over the last few years about how eventually everybody will have to accept Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and XRP. There's no way around it. We just talked about this earlier in the episode, how technology will find a way to get to its level, I call it. Like water finds its level, technology finds its level, and eventually gets to where it's supposed to be. Now, there was news that came out this morning that said that Missouri is on path to eliminate capital gains on crypto and stocks. Now, if you live in Missouri, they're trying to pass a bill that will remove capital gains entirely for crypto, stocks, and real estate. Now, there's already places that do that. Puerto Rico, you ain't got to pay taxes on crypto or stocks right now. That's one reason why I'm trying to move there, but it's more difficult than it seems. But the bill passed the legislature, but now it waits for the governor's signature. So this is what happens is that because Missouri understands if they can attract a lot of investors to their state will be in a better position long term. So investors will be able to deduct 100% of their capital gains from state income taxes. The first state in the U.S. to do this. Previously, capital gains were taxed up to 4%, 4.5%, 350 based on income level. Now, this bill could turn Missouri into a top tax haven for crypto holders and investors. This follows Trump's federal idea to replace income taxes and import tariffs. Trump also said that he wanted to make it so the entire United States was crypto tax free. And I believe that eventually something like that will happen because countries will start to compete over investors. Countries will start to compete over crypto because they're going to want more crypto in their country. Think about this. It's like if everybody had gold, right? You'd want most of the gold in your borders. So you want to draw people with the gold into your borders. Now, this is digital gold. So, of course, you want as many people as possible in your borders with the most valuable asset on the planet. So I want to talk a little bit about Nvidia. I want to talk about other stocks that I think are going to do well after this US-China tariff thing. Before we do that, I need you guys to please like the video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Also, we do have the event in LA. I'm going to put it in the chat. So make sure you come to the event. That's where everything starts. People made a lot of money by understanding what was coming next, understanding the investments that will do well over the next year. So right now, Bitcoin's at 103. Ethereum is almost at 2,600. The all-time high of Ethereum was around 4,700. So we're still a little bit down on that, but we're still we're on the path, though, at least. So that's always positive. We lost a lot of people when we start talking about tech stocks. So now I got a few questions. Is Nvidia buy before the May 19th AI event? Now, there's a big event coming up with Nvidia, AI event. Remember, Nvidia right now, I think is at 116. Let me see. This ain't working. Yeah. Well, Nvidia is at 116. Nvidia leads the AI chip market with its Hopper and its new Blackwell architectures. Sales surged from 27 billion to 130 billion in the last 2 years, forecasted to reach almost 300 billion by 2027. Despite the strong fundamentals, the stock has dropped since Trump's tariffs have created uncertainty. But AI chips are temporarily exempt. But regardless, whenever there's uncertainty, people will panic and it will cause things to drop. So analysts still view Nvidia as long-term. I do too. I think Nvidia is a great thing to hold in your portfolio for years. We got a super chat. Got to go to work. Pay this man for his knowledge. People ask question, your Live Nation event, what is it about? Live Nation event is about the future of technology, the future of crypto, what's going to happen over the next 1 year, 5 years. It's a lecture, more or less, going over the best investments over the next 5 years. And so it's a way to position yourself to make as much money as possible on the innovations that's coming for the next few years. That's what we talk about there. So we also have other people talking before me, real estate, we got entrepreneurship, whatever. It's a 3-hour show with me as the last hour with my lecture talking about where these things are going. So it's a pretty curated event. It's very professional. A lot of people have had it. We've sold out every event up until now. So hopefully you guys go ahead and get your ticket, fly in LA, and join the event. So, like I said, analysts still view, I view Nvidia as a long-term play. Still think it's going to do extraordinarily well. But D. Maynard is a bum. What does that mean? I don't know. I appreciate the super chat, though. So somebody asked about ARM. So ARM, like I said, is going to do well. We got to remember, we're still at the end of the tariff things. Once all this is over, we're going to see a lot of the stocks come back to where they were before. Let me look at where Nvidia is at, because I think it's a little bit higher than 116. I think that was on Friday. Nvidia's at 121. I'm sorry. Nvidia's at 121. It's up 4% today. along with the entire market. And I still think it's on path to do well. Like I said, I'm going to hold Nvidia for the next 10, 15 years. And I want to say something else before we continue, is that because crypto is getting hot, there's going to be a lot of scammers out there. I had a guy message me this morning, and he says, hey, this is the first message I got from the dude. Hey, I sent the 30,000. When do I expect an investment return? I said, whoa, who'd you send 30,000 to? He sent me a wire transfer receipt. And it said later, LADA Investments. He said, is this your investment firm? I said, no, this is not my firm. Who'd you send this money to? Oh, God, I lost my money. These things happen because people are, I'm sorry if he's listening, but you're lazy. You don't want to do the work yourself, so you send your money to somebody else. There is nobody out there that's going to save you. There's nobody out there that's going to make you 10 times your money, 5 times. Nobody, people don't do that. You're the only one on earth that can make a certain amount of percentage for your money. Now, you can make 20% in a good year, 15%, 10%. You can make 10%, 8% all year long. But once you start to get doubling your money, tripling your money, quadrupling your money, there is no incentive for the person to do it anymore. People don't do that for you. They're going to take most of the money in fees. You have to do it. Now, if you're willing to get an 8%, 10%, even 13, 40% with places like Fundrise, yeah, you can make some good money like that. But if you're trying to make, like we've made in XRP 10 times, 5 times, like we made in Oklo 8, 9 times, nobody does that for you. Nobody does that for you. The best investment firms on the planet only get about 20% return if they're on a good year. You have to do it. Now, if you don't want to do it, you can't send your money off to somebody else expecting them to do that for you. That's how people get ripped off, scammed, and lose it all. There is nobody out there that's going to take your money and give you back 3 times. They have no incentive to do so, because if they're able to do that, why would they? Even me, I'm starting an investment firm. I'm not, probably sometime next year. I'm not going to be able to return that much to you. I'm aiming for between 10 and 20% a year, and that's ambitious. Because there is no reason for any investment firm on the planet to go for anything more than that. Because the more money you go for, it increases risk. Why would you want to risk everybody's money? You get a good return, and you build your portfolio, build it up, and that's a good, 12, 13% a year is an excellent, excellent return year over year. That's what you go for, 10% really. Anything over that is a high risk. Why would I risk $1 billion if I'm managing $1 billion? Nobody's going to do that, because there's no really real incentive in it for me. If I lose everybody's money, I'm in trouble. But if I keep it going year over year, I'm better off. Nobody does that for you. And you have to understand and stop sending money to scammers. It happens all the time, over and over and over. There's a woman here in Tampa, I was on the news for it. She sent $180,000 to a scammer. He was going to triple it for her. I don't understand why people do that. I don't get it. People lose a lot, hundreds of thousands. Somebody said, I received a message from you on IG. No, you didn't, Marcus. It was a scammer with my picture. I don't send messages to people on IG about investments. And to be honest, nobody does. No good investor goes looking for investment people on Instagram by DMing them. People don't do that. Why would you do that unless you're going to scam people? You have to use your brain. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. I appreciate you, and have a great rest of your week. See you on Wednesday.